WorkBook CRM module is a good way to keep track of sales work. Potential sales who are not yet active clients are referred to as prospects and have a red symbol. We also have things called pipelines. Pipelines are jobs that have not yet been signed and can even be for existing clients. If a pipeline is attached to an existing client, you will see clients denoted as a green symbol. You can use the clients and prospect lists to keep track of pipelines and activities, or use the filter to narrow your results when in the CRM module. In the Pipelines menu option, you can see all of the active pipelines in the Pipelines grid. It is not possible to edit the grid, but double-clicking in a cell will open the pipeline card in the sidebar and the resource card in the subgrid. In the grid, you can see if the pipeline is related to a client or a prospect. You will see the display pic of who is responsible for the pipeline. In the side grid, you can change who is pipeline responsible using the drop-down. It will be worth remembering that in WorkBook, you can click on the display pic to see the contact details of the employee. The resource column is the name of the client or prospect, and this cannot be changed even in the prospect card seen in the subgrid. You will need to create a new pipeline if it is attached to the incorrect resource. To create a new pipeline, click on the Create New Pipeline icon. In the dialog that follows, select the correct resource. If the resource you are creating doesn't exist yet, you can create them either in the resource book or in the clients and prospect list. The pipeline project is the identifier of the potential job, and the name can be changed in the sidebar. The contact is the person in the company you are dealing with. If the contact you want is not listed, you can add a new one in the prospect card in the subgrid. Press on the Add Contact icon and add the name and email of the new contact. Then go ahead and add the contact in the pipeline card. If you look in the subgrid at the pipeline menu option, you will see all the pipelines for the resource. The probability is your gut feeling of how certain you can convert this. This is interconnected to the stage and status. We strongly suggest to keep your status updated as you move through the sales process. The probability has a flow-on effect in forecasting, whereby the expected gross profit deducts the probability as a percentage. You can enter your gross profit, but the other fields will be automatically calculated as I previously mentioned. If you have won your pipeline, you will need to then convert your pipeline to a job. You can also add an existing job with this client as a pipeline. Conversely, if the pipeline slipped through, you can make a record of the reasons why in this menu option. Now to activities. In a sales team, activities are great. Anyone can log activities. You can also see what else has happened on this resource. This makes it easy for someone else to take over. You can think of a pipeline activity as any event connected with the pipeline. It can be anything from a telephone call to a presentation pitch through to a dinner meeting. The only field in the grid you can make changes to is marking an activity as done. My activities show all the activities you're responsible for, whereas all activities shows the activities for all the pipelines in the company you have access to. Logging a new activity will be of relevance to your work. With the resource selected, click on the Create a New Activity icon. Fill out the information in the drop-down fields, choose a date, and then type some activity text to describe what it is you are doing. You can add tags as a way to find the activity in the search. It is possible to synchronize this activity with your Outlook calendar. You will need to ensure, however, that you have your calendar sync. Find out how to do this on help.workbook.net. You can also see all the activities related to a resource in the resource card subgrid. You can make most changes directly from the subgrid. If not, the activities sidebar will open up, where changes to the activity can then be made. The last section I will talk about is a 12-month summary forecast. The CRM 12-month summary forecast will show you your projected payment plans, any approved price quotes, and work in progress postings. You can filter on specific dimensions values, such as by client or project manager. In the legend, planned takes into account future schedules. In process shows WIP postings. Quotations shows all the approved price quotes. And opportunities and lead are taken directly from the pipelines list menu option. The other tabs will show you a list of the jobs and pipeline projects within the forecast. Just before we move on to finance and administration, if an activity is not marked as done, you will receive notifications about it, prompting you to either mark the activity as done or action the activity.